child protective services, and they won't give them back to their loving families because they're making money.
This is a legal system that you're going into. And if you don't know the rules, you will be chewed up and spit out.
If I could say anything to a mother who just got their children detained, you're in a crisis. Yeah. Life feels like it's over. The most important thing is regaining custody of your children.
The child welfare system at its core is designed to protect children who need protection, okay? And that's key, is who need protection.
So social workers, out of fear, will remove more children rather than only remove those children that truly need to be removed.
It's okay. It's okay.
This isn't someone stole your car. Someone broke into your house. This someone took your child, your flesh and blood.
It doesn't say on this order that it was not proven. It says untrue. I immediately knew that, okay, well, this ain't over.
Were there signs there? Were there no signs? Did I miss them? Did I catch them? At this point, I honestly don't know.
Families only get a finite amount of time to reunify.
I came into this field to help families, not destroy them.
The difference between the criminal system and the child welfare system is substantial. You have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fight CPS with LJ. More rights, that gets me literally every time, and I say this, I think every show, that you have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent, but we're working on changing that, right, you guys? So I am solo this evening with you guys, just me and you, and so I'm going to go over some topics that I want everybody to try to make sure that they are keeping up with for their own personal well-being while you're going through this horrendous situation. I know it's really hard territory to navigate, and it's exhausting and overwhelming and lots of other words that I could use, but so I'm just going to be reading some things that would be encouraging and hopefully will just remind you to, you know, take care of yourselves, because this whole process with CPS and their ridiculous investigation, you know, and case management is exhausting, and you have to remember to take care of yourselves, because if you don't, then you're gonna fall apart, and you need to be able to have that strength and courage to stand back up when you're knocked down. So I'm just going to be reading some things that I printed out that I did some research on, and hopefully you guys like it. Okay, so the first thing that I printed out is called "Misery is Optional." No one is forcing us to give up our misery. It's funny to remember how reluctant we once were to surrender and state that we had become miserable. We seem to think we had a wonderful, fulfilling lives as people that weren't feeling so miserable. In reality, the opposite was true. Our lives were miserable, and we were afraid to trade that familiar misery for the uncertainty of other things. It's possible to be miserable and be okay with that. No one will force us to work on, maintaining misery. But we have to choose to give up being miserable. We have a means to do just that if we really want to. And the end of it says, I don't have to be miserable unless I really want to be. Today, I will trade in my misery for the benefit of my own happiness. Hi, Stephanie. I hope everything's well with you. And she says, hope you're doing great. Going to get your baby back. I'm keeping you both in my prayers. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. It's definitely going to happen. Can't wait. I'm so super excited every minute that gets closer. Thanks, girl. I appreciate that comment. Okay, so let's see. The next thing, social support. I kind of struggle with this a little bit myself because I tend to isolate when I get overwhelmed or stressed. Life is really just loud and busy, and it's really calming for me to just kind of escape by myself and have that solitude and just, recenter and regroup. And that's kind of how I, refuel, so to speak. So social support is definitely beneficial, especially when you're going through something like this. You want people to be able to support you in a positive, healthy way. And listen, guys, if they're not for you, supporting you, positive about you, then they can do without you. So that's kind of like a little saying I have in my own life. If I'm negative enough on my own, if you're going to be negative, or if you're going to bring negativity, or try to drag me or push me down, or make me, feel anything other than encouraged and loved, cared for, and supported, then you are going to be kept much more than an arm's length from me. I don't have time for that. And neither do you guys, I guarantee that. Okay, so benefits of social support: improved physical health. And this is coming from, this is called therapist, this is from therapistaid.com, if you guys want to look it up. Improved physical health, greater resilience to stress, which I know that's true because I can go outside and walk like 10, 15 minutes, just walk. And I definitely feel like so much better. Hi, Katie. Does parents usually get an unsubstantiated findings report for the investigation that took their child? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I think every case is just different. They try to twist it however they can, to make that money. No, don't you be sorry. Nothing to be sorry for. Ask any kind of question you want. I just may not know all the answers, but there's no usual or typical way I think about how they operate. And I'm not sure about an unsubstantiated report. I really don't know. You'll have to tell me a little bit more about that. Maybe you can come on the show. Okay, so feeling of security, improved mental well-being, greater life satisfaction, improved self-esteem. If you are being supported, encouraged, and loved from the people that really care about you and want you to be successful, then that is going to help you in all arenas. and any area of your life that you might be struggling with when you are trying to fight your case and to, get your kids back home. And so it's really important to do that for yourselves. There's different types of social support. There's emotional support. This is helping to manage emotions such as stress, anger, or depression. This support might include listening to problems and showing empathy. For those of you that are not sure what empathy means, it is basically putting yourself in someone else's shoes and trying to imagine, what they feel in that same situation. So, that there's definitely emotional support out there for you. Stephanie, that is wonderful to have my sister-in-law so supportive. I appreciate her because she helps me. She's younger, but it's comforting. I'm so glad to hear that. It's so important. I'm really glad. That's awesome. Because some of us, I really didn't have support from family because I didn't really have any family to have, to like be near. I have some family that's like out, way out up northwest, and we don't even really talk a whole lot because sometimes when you're distanced so far apart, it's kind of hard to stay in touch always, especially when you're navigating these treacherous waters. There's also something called tangible support. This is help with practical problems, such as like financial assistance, providing a ride to work, or even help with, like babysitting kids, stuff like that. Informational support. This is providing information that helps solve a problem or overcome a challenge. This might include advice or information about helpful resources. You guys, there's so many resources out there. If you just try to, de-stress for a little bit, kind of collect your thoughts and focus on, kind of looking around, just always be aware of your surroundings. My stepfather taught me that little saying, and it's really been useful for me because I do a lot of research and digging around and trying to see what resources are out there that could help me in any way. And that's, mentally, spiritually, physically, all of that, however I can get those resources to me. How do you get a investigation report? I'm a foster mom. Angela, you should be able to ask the case manager or the attorney, or there must be somebody that advocates for you or you talk to. You should be able to ask them. So there are social needs. Sorry, my cat. Social needs. So fulfillment of basic social needs, such as love, belonging, and connectedness. This helps provide a feeling of security and contentment. You guys, if you're in a relationship and you are going through this together, support each other, love each other, encourage each other. Some people say fake it till you make it, and try to act positive or fake positivity, or pretend that they are feeling positive because that may instill some kind of positivity, which is really not, I don't think, in my opinion, the way to do it. Like, if you're unhappy, allow yourself to be unhappy, because it's pretty unhappy time to go through this whole process. And I think it's definitely okay to feel that way. Just don't live in that feeling. Do you know what I mean? So, if you have those basic social needs as humans do, you want that connectivity with someone else. For me, my pet, he helps me a great deal. He doesn't even realize it, but he does. Um, he doesn't talk as much as people do. He listens way better. So there are some tips on building social support if you have a hard time with that, and you want to try to help strengthen that. Attend to your existing relationships. Reach out to friends, family. Make it a priority to maintain your most important relationships, even when other areas of your life are busy. And this is really important because you want to keep those lifelong bonded people close to you. You need them to help encourage you and comfort you in this crazy time. So don't deny yourself of that if you have that kind of support. Increase community involvement. It's really important to, I've seen some people say, like, while you're going through this, busy yourself up and don't just focus all on your case and maybe get a hobby. I did not do that. My hobby was busying myself up on research and doing more and more digging to find out how to expose this system, because they're still calling it a justice system. And I call bullshit on that. Sorry. It's not in any form justice. I don't think, anyway. I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me. Let's see. This is a great way. So increasing community involvement, participate in hobby groups, volunteer somewhere, go to church if you're religious. This is a great way to meet people like you and to build a new support system if you need a new one. If you're anything how, my support system was, the only kind of supports I had were sort of negative, and they weren't really going to help me, navigate and, maintain, so to speak. So I tried to reach out and, branch into, the classes, like the parenting classes. I tried to meet other parents that, I saw similarities with, and that was really encouraging. I made some good friends. Let's see. How about attend support groups? Connect with others who are dealing with the similar problems or life experiences. And that's really what we're doing right here, you guys, isn't it? We have to come together, support each other, because this is really, really tough and it's not enjoyable. It's exhausting. It's sometimes doesn't seem like it's ever going to end. But it will. It will end. They cannot keep you under their little microscope forever. By the time we flip that lens on that microscope, right? So it can be rewarding to share your story and provide support to others. So please share this page. Tell people all about what is going on with this organization. I mean, they gotta be stopped. Enough is enough. They are just like at this level of superiority, and they need to come down off that pedestal like yesterday. How about using professional support? So doctors, therapists, social workers, which is what I was telling you guys before, kind of what I did, finding support for myself. I used my classes and kind of my case plan tasks, and I tried to, find people that I felt like really understood what I was going through, at least a little bit, or at least they were willing to listen. Because sometimes that's really hard, is to, get anybody to listen to what's going on. I say it all the time. There's so much out there about how people don't think that, good parents get their children taken. Yes, they absolutely do. There's a lot of bad parents that don't get their children taken, that, their children need rescuing from abuse and neglect, um, or dangerous situations, but there's good parents out there. Uh, and I know I'm one of them. And I know we can be hard on ourselves and maybe tell ourselves that we're, you know, shameful or feeling guilty for mistakes we've made in the past. But guilt and shame have no, don't give that any energy. Don't give those feelings gasoline, because they have no purpose to serve you, to live in guilt and shame for the mistakes you've made. It took me a very long time to sort of try to turn that around on myself, because we're all kind of bullies to ourselves, right? I mean, we're our worst critics, and we really need to be mindful of not doing that to ourselves, because I truly believe without failure you cannot have success. Honestly, I believe that. Let's see. Okay, so the right help at the right time can help you with these supports. Ask yourselves these questions and truly try to answer them if you can. I think there's 8 of them. So, exercises are some of the most used when you use them frankly and honestly. Sometimes this may mean thinking and writing about a subject that may be difficult because it requires a frank appraisal of yourself or someone else. It's really hard to be accountable and hold yourself accountable and responsible for the things that you did wrong without bullying yourself and belittling yourself and dragging you down to where you don't feel that you could be successful and climb out of, the hardship that you're in. So, sometimes this may mean thinking and writing about a subject that is definitely difficult. But if you try to allow that responsibility and accountability for a mistake or, something that didn't work out, it's okay, because you always have recourse to turn that around. It's never too late to change anything. And if anybody tells you that it is, well, they need to not be hit by the door on the way out. It's just tell them to go away. Sometimes being honest about your feelings may feel like being critical of others or even ungrateful, but it's not. It's just describing the way you feel. Your job in this exercise to answer these questions, as in all others, is to be totally honest about your feelings. Okay, so the first one is the sort of support you're receiving, the sort of support you need or want. Very different categories, need and want. We all get what we need. We pretty much probably all would agree that we don't always get what we want. But somehow we always get what we need to get through and to get us to the next day. Number 2, what kind of support do you most need? Ask yourself this question. What do you feel that you need to sustain and to remain encouraged and to keep building that positive good uh, management of your life, and hopefully that means in your children's lives also. Number three, what kind of support do you least want? What don't you want out of your support system? You know, obviously I don't want somebody to come fill me up full of, fake positivity and, to blow smoke, so to speak, and to give me pipe dreams. I want real, honest, um, you know, people in my life that are not going to lie to me, deceive me, trick me, or fool me, but they're going to be easy and gentle and come to me and be loving and caring, compassionate, kind, which is the way I think we all should be to everyone. This is not always easy because there's a lot of a-holes in this world that really don't deserve any of that. But that's not for me to decide. I truly believe that I think that you should treat people how you want to be treated. There's a lot of people out there that will treat people the way they are and have been treated. I don't think that's okay to do, because then how are you any better than that person that made you feel terrible or anything other than good or loved, cared for? So really think about that, and have a talk with yourself about it. You don't have anybody to chat about it with. Message me. We'll talk. I'm here to support you guys. You guys are supporting me just by coming on and being involved and sharing your stories, and I'm so grateful because it really does help get me through too. So thank you guys. Okay, so number 4 says describe your 3 greatest practical needs at this time. What are your most basic needs that you need to get through every day? Well, you need food, you need water, and shelter. 3 basic needs. Keep it simple. Don't overthink these questions. It's just kind of a simple exercise to get you kind of, refocused on you and kind of self preservation and maintaining your sanity, if that's even a thing, because I feel like I've gone sane to insane and back again a couple times because of this whole ordeal. Let's see, number 5. Now name your 3 greatest emotional needs. What are those emotions that you need? Do you need love? Do you need, do you need to feel sadness every now and again to kind of be that without failure, we cannot have success, opposite end of the spectrum? I like that kind of thing because it's just real. That's just how life is. Like, I used to be kind of angry all the time. Now I'm just kind of in a permanently agitated state of mind because of what this has done to my family, my child. It really gets you boiling, and I completely understand that. But we don't have control over anyone else other than our own behavior. So always be mindful of how you are controlling yourself and how you act. And hopefully you can, name 3 great emotional needs that you have, that you give to yourself, hopefully on a regular basis. Number 6, are the people in your support system accurately recognizing your needs? Are they asking you, hey, how are you doing? How are you making it through this? I know it's really hard, and I couldn't imagine, but how you doing? Is there anything you need or anything I can do for you to help, or just show that I'm here? That's exactly what we need to have in our lives. And if you have anybody that's doing anything less than that, see ya later, bye. Very simple words. Let's see. 2 more. So number 7. What do you need in order to get the support you really want? If you don't have that comfort and positivity, if you have a bunch of negativity and people dragging you down and just toxic, people all around you, ask yourself what you need in order to get through this, because it's not going to be those people. That's not going to help you. It's only going to hinder you, make you feel more like crap. And none of us need that. We're already feeling enough of that already, thanks to CPS. And the last one, are you doing what you need to get your needs for support met? Make sure that you never accept anything less than what you deserve. And all of us deserve to be loved, cared for, supported, nurtured, to have people in our lives that are positive, healthy, and encouraging. It's not always going to be rainbows and, sprinkles and gumdrops and, good stuff. I love gumdrops. But, what are those good people in your life giving to you or not giving to you? If they're bad people, get rid of toxicity. This is really hard all by itself. And somehow we got to navigate life while pretending not to want to become an animal and take these POSs down where they stand. But that can't be what we teach our kids, how we behave when something doesn't go our way, right? And that was the last one for that one. So again, I found that it was called therapistaid.com. I kind of just ran across it, and I just thought it was kind of a cool little assessment that you can do either with a partner, a friend, or just on your own, and kind of see where you're at with your social support. The next one is funny because I just talked about this and how I used to be like this all the time. Anger. This is, I believe, from, let's see where I can find it. So I used to subscribe to something called awesomemarriage.com. Really, really cool and positive website. It's really encouraging and helps kind of you navigate your relationship, whether you're boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, but whatever you are, married, not married, living together, not living together, going through DCF investigation together, whatever your case may be. You can do this with a partner, and or you can do it by yourself, or you guys can message me and we'll bounce ideas. But anyway, so this is about anger. Anger is a red flag that tells us something is wrong. If I'm angry at my friend and I yell and I say harmful things, I am not doing good by my friend. If I'm angry and tell my friend I am angry and that I want to talk about it with my friend, and I try to come to a solution with my friend, then I know that I'm being a good friend. And this can, like I said, it can mean with a partner, friend, coworker, whatever. This really can work in any area of your life if you want it to. Um, it sounds a lot easier than it really is, but it is the way it works. The one thing that we agree to today is to an anger plan. Here is what is suggested. When you're angry, give yourself a timeout to cool down. I don't know about y'all, but I need like completely to be alone when I get angry. I need to be left alone. Don't come talk to me until I'm ready. I'll let you know when I'm ready. Because if I'm not ready, I'm not going to be rational, reasonable, probably logical, maybe a little scary. And I don't want to come at a partner or friend or coworker that way. And nor do they want me to do that either. So, you really got to give yourself a timeout. And sometimes people take longer than others. Sometimes people can get over stuff like that. I am not one of those people. It takes me like ridiculous long time to get over stuff. If I'm like really angry, like boiling mad. But you have to put in that work because remember, we can only control our behavior, how we are acting. After the timeout, come together and talk with your partner, spouse, friend, whatever, and listen well. This is where a lot of people, I think, struggle. It's so easy for anyone, the average Joe will normally want to talk to you about them, about how they feel. People want to be heard, to be listened to, just like we do against this organization that is just really screwing the world up with its like toxicity. I know that they originally were here for protection of children, but when the hell did they get to tell me what the best interest of my child was? And then I not be involved in that. How about I'm going to tell you or them or anyone else what my child's best interest is because I'm his mama and I will always want the best for him. So, just I think I went off on a tangent, but it's really important to listen to what other people have to say, and not just your own issues. Don't always make it about you. Really put forth an effort to listen to somebody, even if it's a random person. Try that out because a lot of times you'll realize if you just kind of get out of your own mental space for a little bit and maybe think about somebody else and what they got going on and maybe talking them through their situation, or just being that sounding board can really do wonders for you. And you may be able to seek some clarity, out of life from just listening to others. Just by sharing a little bit of that ear and less of that mouth. I had a relationship really difficult, in that aspect. And I just constantly felt like I wasn't being listened to because it didn't matter, or I didn't matter, or my feelings didn't matter. And that's ridiculous because all of our feelings matter, because we all matter. We're all important. You're not going to be important to everyone you meet, but who cares? You're important to them kids you have. That matters. You're important to you. That matters. You know? So listen well. Um, your goal is to understand what happened and why from each other's perspective. Look, be, give empathy. Try to see it's somebody else's, from their viewpoint, whatever the situation may be. If it made you mad, well, figure out what it might have made the other person feel like and see if you can kind of role play that and see another difference in perspective. We all have a different way of looking at things. A lot of us have similarities, a lot of us are polar opposites. Doesn't matter either way. Um, you just don't always want to think about how your perception is making you feel, because sometimes there's going to be a difference in that perspective, and it goes with the next person to the next person and on down the line. What can you both do differently next time you get angry? Is there anything in that situation when you got angry, that you think you really could work on and do better in the near future? Is there anything you want to change about when you get angry? Do you behave irrationally? Do you, call? Oh, excuse me. Tired. Do you call each other names? Do you insult? Do you belittle? That's really important to not go there. And you want to make sure that if you're doing things that deep down are just inherently bad and not of good moral character, because come on, we all have basic understanding of what good moral character is. There's opposite end of the spectrum, always is, but when you're treating someone well and when you're treating them really crappy. And if you are treating them crappy, well, does that give them the right to treat you the same way? Think about it. Forgive each other. Now, I'm not saying you have to forgive everyone, because guess what, people? Yep, I totally agree. Not everyone is meant to be forgiven. And I don't believe I have that power anyway. I'm just a mere peasant living on earth that doesn't have that power to bestow upon the people I don't feel deserve any kind of my forgiveness. So I'm okay with that. If you guys aren't, you gotta work that through with your, own situation. But when it comes to loved ones and your support system and your relationships, friend, spouse, coworkers, whatever it might be, do try to forgive each other. But there are some a-holes that will never be forgiven, and you got to be okay with that, because it is what it is, right? It ain't your fault they were like that. It's their fault. That's on them. Why you gotta forgive that? Don't worry about it. Move on from that. That's what I say anyway. And if you're spiritual, pray that you can handle your anger in a way that is more positive, and really try to work on that, because it's not enjoyable to live your life angry. I lived angry for, I feel like, a really long time. And I don't want to have that anger, deep seated in my heart, to where I'm missing out on the joys of life, which at one point I didn't find a whole hell of a lot of joy out of life, because these assholes and this organization was trying to mess up my world. They're trying to take my kid and keep him away from me and then call that reunification. Mind blown. It's crazy, right? Anyway, your one thing today from this awesome marriage.com website I found this on, it says agree on an anger plan for your marriage or your situation. What boundaries do you need to set around your anger? What ground rules, so to speak, will help you deal with anger in a healthier way moving forward? Make sure you guys are managing that, because you don't need any kind of an incident or cuffs to go on them wrists to impede your progress in your case. You don't need any other issues. It's already hard enough. You're already going through enough. So really try to maintain when you're feeling that way. Okay, so this one I'm not going to read because I don't know where the front page of it is. So we're going to move on with that one. This next one is really important. And I think a lot of us tend to forget to set healthy boundaries. And this is with everyone and everything in your life. No matter what it is, you can literally apply this to it all. You have to set healthy boundaries, because guess what, y'all? If you don't set those boundaries and say, hey, no, you're not going to treat me that way or talk to me that way, or this isn't going to happen this way in my life, then if there's no consequence, then nothing's learned, nothing changes, nothing continues to grow and build on those healthy boundaries. Okay, so you got to have those to be able to use those. I didn't have those for a long time. I had some boundaries, but I don't think they were healthy, because they didn't feel good. People were hurting and kind of abusing. So no longer do I allow that. Boundaries should be based on your values or the things that are important to you. For example, if you value spending time with family, set firm boundaries about like working late. Your boundaries are yours and yours alone. Many of your boundaries might align with those who are close to you, but others will be completely unique. Know your boundaries before you enter a situation. Know what you are going to tolerate and not tolerate. We don't really get a choice when it comes to our CPS investigations or railroading, as I like to call it. But you can still set up healthy boundaries in how you receive communication from them. It's okay to not be talked to like you're a piece of crap from these workers, from the guardian ad litems, or the other people involved in your case that are maybe, for example, talking down to you like you're less than, because you're going through this. That's ridiculous. And it pisses me off, because I allowed it for like the first whole most of my case. And I was like, wait a minute, y'all crossing my damn boundaries. And I was doing nothing about it because I was scared. And they were feeding on that vulnerability of mine. Well, they aren't anymore, because I no longer allow them to cross that boundary and talk down to me as if I deserve to be talked down to, because I don't. So I won't allow it. And that's that. Let's see. So this will make it less likely you're going to do something that you're not comfortable with. Okay. So now it's got a little space that says what to say. You always have the right to say no. When doing so, express yourself clearly and without ambiguity. Many differences. that, so that there's no doubt about what you want. There's no confusion about what your boundary is and what will, upset that boundary is very clear, or what will, head towards, everything is peace, land, whatever you want to call it. But, make sure you set those up with the people that are, um, involved in this whole situation, because it's just not okay to cross those boundaries. Okay, so you have to make sure you have those for yourself and for your kids. It's important. Our kids have to know, hey, don't go past that street. You go past that street, guess what? Now you're in danger. You may be hit by a car, or somebody on a motorcycle, or even a bicycle, or something not good is going to come to you because you're a little kid and you don't pay attention to stuff like that when you are running where you're running. But I know, as your parent, there's danger out in the street and you need to stay off of that street. If you go out on the street, guess what? You're going to have to be punished. You're going to have a timeout, and we're going to have to talk about why it's so important for you to not cross into that street. Because, and like, I always think it's really important, especially when it comes to your kids, if they cross a boundary, because they're always going to test their limits. Hell, y'all, I'm almost, let's see, I'll be 39 next month, and I'm still testing my limits. And I still test boundaries all the time, but my own, so, talk with your kids, tell them why you're setting those boundaries. Why do you have that rule? What is this rule for? Why are they getting this boundary? Because sometimes we feel like we're being impeded or stopped from doing what we want to do. But there's boundaries and lines that we should not cross, because it could mean either danger, or it might hurt someone else. And we don't want to do that. I don't have the time or the headspace for somebody else's problems. Anyway. So, let's see. When doing so, express yourself clearly. I read that. So you can say something like, I'm not comfortable with this. Please don't do that. Not at this time. I can't do that for you. I don't say that ever in my vocabulary. Neither do I teach my kid, because I can do anything I set my mind to, just as you guys can. Okay, so I don't use the word can't. This does not work for me. I've decided not to. This is not acceptable. That sounds more like me. I'm drawing the line at blank, or I don't want to do that. This goes in the same line of, even if you have a conversation with anybody on your case, your social worker, like I said, the guardian ad litem, anybody, you have the right to set those boundaries. Stand up for you and your rights and your boundaries. It's okay to do. And you should make damn sure that you don't let anybody keep crossing them. Because that's kind of how I know I got as far with these people as I have. Because if I had not let them cross my healthy boundaries that I didn't have a long time ago, they wouldn't still be irritating me today. So, you can be respectful, and, talk about what you are and not willing to allow or to accept. It might not necessarily change a whole lot for you, but, you definitely know bringing yourself down to a level that you don't deserve, and you just shouldn't stand for, period. What to do basically on setting these boundaries, you guys, is always be respectful. Okay. You know, compromise also, you know, listen and consider the needs of the other people. You never have to compromise, but give and take is part of any healthy relationship. Plan ahead, think about what you want to say and how you're going to say it. I'm more like right off the cusp type of chick. I just say it how I go. And that doesn't always work out for me because it can hurt somebody else's feelings. And I have to be mindful of that. You know, sometimes I can come across a little abrasive and hurt the ones that are trying to, you know, help me and are trying to compromise themselves also. So really try to work on setting these boundaries for you yourselves, you guys, and you know, don't budge. Don't allow it to be crossed under any circumstance. Hey, Linda, is it possible to stop an adoption if parental rights have already been violated? Hell yeah, go back and appeal. Fight, fight, always. And I'm not an attorney. I can't advise you of that legally, but personally, yeah, you can always fight. You can always take a stand. You know, it's never too late for change, you guys. Never too late. And I know you guys are navigating just like me, and we're going to get through this. We're going to get through it together. Hey, thanks for joining me on another awesome night with Fight CPS with LJ. Hey, you guys want to be on the show? Come message me, post some kind of comment, and well, we'd love to have you on the show. Share your story, spread the word. And I really appreciate you guys joining me. Thanks. I'll see you next week. Have a good night.